Text us anytime. 4215.
Pulse 95. It's Yalla Home. Yalla Home.
With
Big Cass.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to Yalla Home. Obviously, Yalla Home is a drive time show. We try to keep you entertained as much as possible. And to be honest, this is a big day for me because we don't get a lot of guests on Yalla Home, right? And when we have guests on Yalla Home, it feels super special. Now, tonight's guest is super close to my heart, someone who inspires me personally, someone who really makes me feel good about myself in every single way. He's an incredible entertainer. He's a host. But what I would say, he's an amazing human being that will make everyone around him feel so special and incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Hadi Rushdy. Hi, man. How are you?
I'm good, Big Ass. Look at you. Finally seeing you in your environment. Also, thank you for
man.
that introduction. That's too much. Now I don't know what to do because I don't know what to do when I get complimented like that. Why? Why do you do that?
No, that's a fact, man. Mashallah alaik, you're incredible. So
Thank
listen, your background is incredible. Let me get this right. You're German, Egyptian,
Correct.
Filipino.
That is absolutely correct.
Wow. So first question is,
How did that happen?
how did that diversity of
Culture?
culture impact what you do right now, if any?
I think it's the most important thing when it comes to what I do as an entertainer and as a host because it allows me to read the room a lot better than most. Very, very sort of like in tune with how people feel around me, and that, you know, growing up in a place where it's just mixed with different cultures, you hear different languages, you eat different food. I feel like that's the biggest factor. I didn't realize that until I was in my late 20s.
That's interesting.
Living overseas, and it just makes it. I feel like people who are of mixed cultures, especially living in a place where there's lots of them, it's a plus when you go out into the world.
100%. I mean, it's a heavy question I'm about to ask, but what's home to you? Obviously, you're born here, right?
I was born here in this country, absolutely. Grew up in Sharjah, absolutely. Shout out to Sharjah.
Wow.
Mansoura, not even far from here, Mansoura.
Mansoura.
Yeah, that's where I used to live.
Hey, my brother.
Shara Kuwaiti, right next to the Kuwaiti hospital.
Amazing.
And I lived here for 16 years, after which I moved to the Philippines, which is my mother's country.
Okay, bless.
And then after that, I lived in the States for a little bit, just to sort of soul search and see what I could do
Where
in
in the
terms of
States?
my talent. I was in New York for a while, and then Los Angeles after that.
Birthplace of hip-hop right there.
Exactly. This is, why I chose to come and do this interview with you, because hopefully we can talk. But yeah, New York was definitely, because going back to your question, that's the most home I've ever felt, even though it was the place that I spent the least amount of time in.
Wow.
It's strange because, well, obviously here there are so many reasons for why we can't really literally call it home, but although I was born here, I know it like the back of my hand. The best spots to eat, the best places to go in terms of, being someone that's from here. Philippines obviously is so close to my heart because that's where my mother is from.
Bless.
And that's where I spent my teen years, so 16 to 24, I want to say.
Wow.
And it helped evolve, it sort of built me into the man that I am today. And then the States, of course, was where I kind of just went full on with discovering myself as a human being or as a person. But New York, New York was really the most home I've ever felt because I didn't feel like I was different when I was there. I just felt like I was one of them when I was walking around.
Wow, love that.
Yeah.
How did so you have radio background, obviously.
I do, yeah.
How did you get into, obviously, hosting? What was sparked it for you?
Right. It's such a strange story.
Tell me.
And a lot of it has to do with hip-hop as well, because growing up over here, especially, whenever we would have, like, get-togethers, or there was a little scene back in the day and a lot of old artists will tell you this also. Let's say some of the malls and the parking lots, we would have our ciphers there, for example.
Wow.
And that's where it started for me, like beatboxing and being in public in front of strangers and sort of just having fun and with the words and coming up with different rhymes. And so that sort of sparked this little confidence I had with being in front of people.
Wow.
And then everything started when I was in the Philippines, actually. I had been scouted by, and this is way back when, it doesn't make any sense now. This is way back when I was scouted by a modeling agency to join this competition.
Yo.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know, man. They saw something. It's the Hazel Eyes, I guess. It's the Hazel Eyes.
In the Philippines.
And so I won. I got like first runner-up at this competition, and we were interviewed on radio just like this. And the director from that station was like, you have a really nice radio personality. You want to give it a shot? And I was like, yeah, well, I would say yes to everything, every opportunity that came my way. And so I started working in radio as a junior jock. And then because of all, I was 16.
Okay.
16. I was the youngest at the radio station. And through that, of course, we would get invited to all these events. And because I loved hip-hop so much, my first ever event was a hip-hop dance competition.
You're kidding.
At a mall.
That was your first hosting event?
Hosting event in front of like,
Crazy.
I want to say 2,000 to 3,000 people watching. It was just in a mall, and all the best dancers in the country were there, and it was just, yeah, that's
Love
where
that.
I discovered. I thought I was nervous, of course, like, and we were talking about this earlier. I still get nervous. It's just when I got on stage and I started, and I found my groove.
Yeah.
Everything kind of just came into place, and I was like, maybe I should just keep doing this, and it became a thing.
So that event kind of sparked it, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was the hip hop. It was a place called Baguio in the Philippines,
Baguio.
northern Philippines.
Okay.
College city, college town, very cold.
Wow.
Lots of art in that city, and so
Yo,
it was
you
such a
give me
great
goosebumps.
thing to be a
Wow.
part of. Yeah, it was. And I used to I had a little background of dance as well. I danced a little bit when I was in the Philippines, professionally
he
a little
definitely-
bit.
That man can do everything, man.
No.
Like,
I claim I can, and I try my best, and I just fake it till I make it. But then, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and that's how it started for me. And then from there, because I was involved with sports a lot. So when I was in the Philippines, part of the reason for why I was there was for sports, basically. Back in the 90s over here, it wasn't really a big thing for you to join an academy and then go on to play professionally, especially if you weren't of local heritage here. And so in the Philippines, I had somewhat of a shot because I was part Filipino. So I was a two-sport athlete in high school and in college. I played basketball and football.
you played football? I knew basketball.
Yeah, so football was actually my first sport.
What?
But because I was in the Philippines, basketball is
It's
just
like-
loved by. It's just like it's a
Everybody.
religion over there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so I chose to go down that path, and that was that's another story as well. But then because I was so involved with sports, I then became somewhat of a sports presenter / host.
Yo, mashallah.
And so it was just, all these events that happened whenever it was like a mall activation or there was sports involved, I would be sort of like a part of it. And then
That's
I think
amazing.
that's how it started.
But
yeah.
see the story so far, and man, shout out to you, my brother. Seriously,
appreciate it.
because it feels to me that kind of everything happened for a reason, with you. Like
Definitely.
you fell in love with hip hop as a culture. I get
Yes,
that.
yeah.
And then obviously you emceed that event, which is a dance in the Philippines. And then you what was it about you hosting? That you got attracted to, like what? Because you're a great host, man. When I say that,
I appreciate
I've had the pleasure to be either introduced by you, to see you perform and host. You really, I always say this. Every one of us is different, right?
Yeah.
And you can't say this better than this, or I don't like that comparison.
Sure.
But you really, really like just make everyone feel home.
Big hat. I told you not to compliment me.
No,
that
that's the
much.
truth. And you know how important it is to feel at ease?
Yeah.
And you
no.
make that. But what sparked your love for hosting?
I don't want to go too deep.
Okay.
I know it's just everyone's driving home. They want
It's
to
okay.
ponder on all the things that have happened in their lives. But I think it's because growing up, I've always wanted to feel accepted. And there was this feeling that, where you feel lost, especially if you're in a crowd or if you're in a situation where there's other people. I know how that feels. And then because of my personality, my really loud personality, and the humor that was pretty much 360 in the household I grew up in, we were all about humor. We loved comedy. We
bless
loved
you
making
guys.
fun of ourselves. And so I think that combined with the fact that I was multicultural as well, it just, so now whenever I'm doing something on a stage and I look out in the crowd, I can feel if someone's feeling a little anxious or a little lost or confused. And so I make it about them in a way in where I make fun of myself, and I have them sort of like, because we're basically on the same eye level. I don't want people to think that there's someone that's higher than the other.
Of course.
And once that family sort of connection vibe is felt, the room then becomes more lively. And then everybody starts to have fun. And now I can start, either I'm guiding you through the
Ease up a little
program,
bit,
ease up a little bit, maybe a few jokes here and there, and that's when everything comes into play. So,
We're going to take a short break, but just earlier I saw that you were obviously doing this incredible hosting at the Dubai Basketball.
Yes,
And a lady was shot. She got it in. I don't know, I saw that video.
Yeah, so there was
Super
a
it's a small competition
a
for
little
the fans.
contest after the first quarter called the 3-shot competition, 3-shot hero.
Yeah.
And where you have to make a layup, a free throw, and a 3-pointer in a row consecutively.
Oh God.
It sounds really tough because you're also doing this in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And so this girl popped up, and then she told me that she played basketball, and I was like, okay, well, everybody says they play basketball. You could
She
probably
cool.
make a layup. So she made a layup. She missed the free throw.
Correct.
And then on the second go, It didn't take her more than 2 tries.
Correct.
Gets the layup, gets the free throw, and on the 3-pointer, she sinks it in ringless.
Oh.
It was a swish.
But man, Hadi, I loved your reaction because you were like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
let's go!" And it was an incredible moment.
It was like I won as well, but
Yeah.
yeah, she got to walk away with 20,000.
That's amazing. That thing's incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. We are with Hadi Rushdy, an incredible, look, it's just 7 minutes in, an incredible human being, someone with so much talent. We're just kind of scratching the surface with him. 4215 if you want to text me and ask any question. We're going to be right back. Hadi, this is a local group. They're called Talking Toys. I'm not sure if you know them.
Yeah, I think you talked to me about them.
Yeah, they're amazing. So they're a producer and a singer. They perform in English. I want you to hear this record. It's called Dream of You. Keep it locked. Do not go anywhere. We're going to be right back with the incredible Hadi Rushdy.
Let's do it.
It's Yalla Home. Yalla Home.
With
Big Cast.
Text us anytime. 4215.
Pulse 95.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Yalla Home with me, Big Hass. Every weekday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I have a special guest in the building. His name is Hadi Rushdy.
Not so special. Just a regular guest.
Very special. Hadi, we were talking about your, mashallah, your hosting skills. How'd you get into hosting and all that? What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Obviously born here in the UAE.
Yes, sir.
When someone asks you if you're about to prepare for an event, what is there a ritual like you're prepared? And of course, there's all sort of events that you do, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's a corporate event,
exactly.
or all sort of events that you've done. How do you tackle that? How do you prepare for it? If there's anything.
No, that's a really good question because I didn't really think about it. But I feel like everybody has some sort of ritual.
Facts.
I have to make sure that there is a program flow. I have to make sure that I know what the events people are looking for, what the vibe is going to be like. But then everything sort of just changes the moment you hit the stage because you never know what you're gonna, how you'll be received by the people.
Yeah.
And so you have to be quick on your feet in that sense. I think the ritual that I do have is memorize or sort of just understand the program flow to a T.
Facts.
So that if somebody asks me about it, I can just talk. It doesn't have to be in order or word for word verbatim. I just have to know exactly what they want and how it's structured.
So you do your homework, obviously.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Do your homework. That's something that everybody has to do. It's not a ritual that just applies to me. Do your homework and also be serious about it. There's a lot of people out there, and I don't want to, I don't want to talk bad about anything. But there's so many people that just do it because it's a job.
Yeah.
And I understand for some people you got to do what you got to do. It's your livelihood. But in this kind of industry or with this kind of with events and with hosting, just be serious about it, really.
No. But what I love about you is what you said exactly right now. It's be serious, but also fun. I think. I think the to balance both.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think it's truly important, and this is, I think, what makes you lethal, in my opinion.
Wow.
Like you come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tap into different kind of cultures as well.
Yes.
You're fun. When I say fun, meaning. The thing about you not making me feel anxious.
Right.
That's what you want from an MC or a host. You want everyone to be like at ease, and I think this is what makes you really cool.
I mean, you mentioned something earlier also about how everybody's their own different, their person, and everyone's individual. I think if you focus on your individuality, it automatically comes off.
That's it.
As you're genuine.
Dropping gems. Right here.
I'm dropping facts that everybody should know.
I love that you said that. I think it's really important to realize that. Me doing what I do as well, sometimes people get like, oh, how do I become like you? I'm like, bro or sis, you can't. You just have to be you in a way. And people will book you because of you.
Going back, because I mean, you've complimented me enough, but we have to talk about you also. And you're doing great. You're doing amazing. Everybody knows that already. You're the voice of hip hop, of the underground scene. But there's a thing that you do as well, in where with your tone and when you ask people questions, your curiosity is genuine.
God bless, bro.
Just going back to what I said, just repeating the whole be yourselves and your own individuality. But you have this natural curiosity in your voice that when you start asking, like all your interviews with the basketball players, for example, you really want to know. Like you're not asking because somebody told you to ask these questions, and so that comes off as like, okay, so he's speaking for us, and so once everybody feels like they're on the same page in terms of like, no, he's the voice for us. So we're gonna be behind him.
Yeah.
That's exactly the vibe that we have to go for.
Bless, of course.
Yeah.
Listen, we're approaching the news, but I wanted, what What's a challenge that Hadi Rushdy has faced throughout? Because you talk about the things, the beautiful things you post about. You know, I MC this, I hosted this, incredible.
Yeah.
You achieved this. But I'm sure you've been through some challenges.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
So
love
many.
if you can maybe kind of talk about one, address it, and how did you maybe get over it?
I feel like one of the biggest challenges I have to go against is the fact that it's a very oversaturated scene.
Facts.
The entertainment industry, and you have to go up against people who have large numbers in terms of following,
Social media.
And because it's also a place in where who you know might help, you have to go against. I say against. It's not really a competition, but like in the entertainment industry, that's how it's viewed as. But as long as you stay and you stick to your roots and you're genuine about what you do and you put in that hard work. It'll happen. It may not happen as fast as you would like for it to happen, but it does happen. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier about just sticking, to your
at it, bro.
Exactly, your personality. But yeah, the problem is, or like what you asked is, do I have to do this and say this for me to get there? That's the question that everybody will come in. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so to that, I always say, read the situation. Observe the people around you. If you have some sort of climb, or if you're moving forward, then stick to what you're doing, because you're moving. The speed doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're moving forward, that's great. It's a greater feeling when you get to where you need to get to, when you've done it your way. That's a great feeling. But then when you feel like you have to do something else or something that's out of character, I mean,
I love everything that you said. I think it's really important. But you're one of the most hardworking people that we have in our industry, and it's incredible. I've seen you MC event in the morning, and then you drive back to like Abu Dhabi to Dubai, and like this is just watching him on social media. You guys, sometimes that's why I say inspiring, because I'm like, wow, you're able to do all these incredible things in every single way. So I love that. We are with Hadi Rushdy. He's an incredible, entertainer, host. An incredible basketball player too. Like just in less than a minute, we got to talk about this, man. Your basketball skills are amazing, bro.
Once upon a time, I could dribble the ball okay.
Yeah,
once
man.
upon a time.
No, it's like Magic Johnson vibe.
No,
passes,
I mean,
bro. Like,
he is one of my favorite players.
Really?
Magic Johnson is definitely Magic Johnson, Pistol Pete, CP3.
Because man,
all
these no-look passes that you do. Oh my God! Like this guy's big. Like is this 6? What are you, 6 foot?
I'm 6'2". Yeah.
You're coming down the lane and pull it. Oh my God!
That's because the people that I play against are smaller, so it makes me look good. That's pretty much the real deal.
Oh man, shout out to basketball. We're definitely going to talk basketball. But listen, we're approaching in the next few seconds. You're going to have the news, but I'm going to keep Hadi here with me for a bit, because, like I said, he's so much to learn from, so much to get inspired. And to be honest, sometimes I personally feel a bit low. And then when you meet someone like this that kind of revives you in a way, this is really remarkable. So thank you so much for joining us, man. We're going to be right back, you guys. Do not go anywhere. It's Pulse 95 Radio with me, Big House. 4215 if you want to text us and ask any questions.
Let us know.
The news.
Pulse 95. It's Yalla Home. Yalla Home. With Big House.
Welcome back to a Yalla Home special edition today, because we have a guest in the building. Usually you don't have guests, but tonight we have Hadi Rushdy, who's an incredible, really amazing human being, entertainer, host, an MC, overall a personality that I have a big respect for, because he's one of the most hardworking people that we have in our industry, and this is a fact. Hadi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Big Hass. Thank you. So, also, can I just say, everybody knows your name is Big Hass.
Yes.
And I'm assuming it's Hassan.
Hassan.
Yeah,
Hassan.
Keep it going. Hassan. No, I have to read this out loud because I screenshotted this the other night.
Okay.
Hassan Ahmed Danawi.
That's a fact.
Yalla Bina.
Yalla Bina, that's cool.
Come on now.
Listen, I want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Well, what is this? I had something.
Always being on the spot.
What is this?
May the Force be with you.
What's the movie?
Star Wars.
Hands down, huh?
Opening credits.
You're a fan?
Big fan. I mean, I was just talking about it's a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch Star Wars to actually, it's on, I want to say it's on Disney. Why is the name not hitting my mind? It's a TV series. It's great. So if you watched, are you a Star Wars fan?
A little bit.
So Rogue One, which is another Star Wars story, it's basically a spin-off with the characters from that movie. But as soon as it hits my mind, I'm gonna remind everybody.
But you're a
fan. I'm a big fan.
Okay, amazing. We'll try to play these games with that. Do you know this? I just want to see if we can get.
Is it just like random movie soundtracks?
What is this?
The Pink Panther?
Wow. What are your 80s or 90s kids? What are you?
I was born in '89, so technically I can't really claim that I'm an '80s kid.
You get the
I
both
do have
ways.
that 1 year though. On the latter part of the '80s, I feel like I am an '80s kid in that sense.
Oh man, yeah, very very cool. I love that. Hadi Rushdy. Okay, so how is your like day to day like? What is it that you know, because mashallah, you host, you MC, you play a lot of basketball. You also incredibly do, you know, these amazing freestyles and rap. You're into hip hop a lot. You're into music.
Very much so.
How is your like day to day like? What is it that you?
It's the most random thing, which is why sometimes you know, friendships and relationships are so hard to keep because it's such a random thing. My days are so random.
You
some
love
days
food,
I can,
which is amazing. I love that.
Some days some days I wake up at 5 a.m. Some days I wake up at 11 a.m. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It really goes according to what I have on the schedule in terms of work because that comes first. So I'm trying to be an established presence in the entertainment scene as a voice for whether or not it's the sports industry or just the events industry in general. So that's always on my mind. And of course, content creation is something I'm big on.
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking up ideas.
I love your vlogs. I love the fact that you put these kind of vlogs on Instagram.
Yes,
I don't know if anyone before you did it.
I don't
They usually
think
put
so.
that 20-second or 1 minute.
Yeah, they'll do a teaser to their YouTube vlog, but I pretty much do the whole thing on IG because, well, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's people that are of the same, they have the same habit of just being on IG. And so I'm like, let me just put out these vlogs and it goes back to like, you just do it for you, man. I'm doing it because I like, you know, watching stuff on Instagram. So I do it on it and I put it on Instagram because I'm doing it. That's
When you're hosting an event and something goes wrong, what's the how do you tackle that?
Totally make fun of myself first.
Okay.
Always. Like, you know, I'll say something like, you know, obviously they made a mistake with hiring me because I'm so not professional. This is insane. And then I'll do the technical difficulty excuse, but then I'll make fun of that excuse where it's just like, it's not really a technical difficulty. We're just trying to figure out what went wrong, but that's what we have to say. I'll say it out loud. I think being honest sometimes to the audience is, when they see it and they feel it, they're much more relaxed. So at least they're not confused or they're not saying like what's going on or why are they saying what they're saying. So just be honest, I guess.
What's the obviously you're now doing this incredible Dubai basketball. I love the fact that we were in the playoffs, which is a big deal.
Yes.
What's something I'm sure you're proud of all the events you've hosted, but something that really hit home to you?
I mean that is pretty much up there. I want to say in the top 3. I'll have to think a little more on some of the events that mean a lot. But because it's my community, in terms of playing basketball, and because I'm also from here, and the fact that
it's basketball,
and it's sort of launched my career as a host as well. Shout outs to all the people that helped me. From commentating on games to being the actual MCs at tournaments.
Love that.
But yeah, that's really close to me because I treat it like it's my baby.
Yeah,
like
it
I
is.
have to. I make sure everything goes according to the script.
You love it. And also sometimes I see some family and friends come and attend.
Yes.
And that must make you feel special, man.
I mean, it's funny because I'll put out one story maybe right before the game saying, hey, if you have a story, tag me. And then everybody starts tagging me from different angles, and it's so fun to see. And then when people, I think I've grown sort of like from this whole I need acknowledgement as an MC and as an entertainer because like people like you and we've been doing this for so long.
Correct.
And there is this little space for wanting to be acknowledged by people. That's
100%.
always going to be
100%.
there. But I think I've, sort of gone past this need for having it. But so when you do get it, it's a plus, of course. It's a cherry on top. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing regardless, really.
But man, just kind of learning more about your story. Okay, so how did music? Obviously you
that's the foundation.
Oh, that's the foundation of
Music
course, but
is the foundation.
how'd you fall in love with hip hop? I know you stayed in New York, but what did you fall in hip hop before going to New York?
Yeah, when I was in Sharjah, actually.
Wow,
yeah.
how?
And this is the most random. I am the worst person when it comes because I'm a music maker that doesn't have the best music answers so it's not so complicated. It's basically
that's cool.
Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
Yo.
This was in 2000. I want to say 2002 or 3.
That's epic, bro. What you said.
Oh yes. So
love that.
He was the first push, and then This is back when we had cassette players. You know what I'm talking about when I
Yeah.
say cassette player. So all the
100%.
people that don't know what I'm talking about,
Man.
Google cassette player. That's what we had to live with
VHS
growing
cassette?
up.
Yeah.
Oh, and so like I remember I had a cassette player, and we went to it wasn't like a cassette shop or like I basically had a few tapes on me that was sort of like handed down. And there was a side A, side B mixtape of different artists back then.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you who was on the tape, but it was all basically hip hop.
Hip hop.
It was hip hop tracks, and I fell in love with the whole wordplay. And then I realized when we would beatbox just to have fun, because there was a time where beatbox was a big thing.
Yeah.
And so someone would beatbox, and I could put words together so strangely enough, not in the most serious way. I'd
No, I get
have
it.
fun with it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it just became a thing. And so I found that if I sat down and I heard a beat, I could write down something, and to me, prolific, because it's I can't believe I can do this. And so it became a skill that I worked on. And because the art of rap is basically a voice for the voiceless and talking about your environment
Facts.
and everything in your surroundings, I found that growing up over here, especially for anyone that's grown up in the Middle East, sometimes it's tough to be really vocal about where you live.
Correct.
And through the form of songwriting,
Rhythm and poetry,
metaphors
correct.
and poetry, I managed to get all these things that I've always wanted to talk about
Wow.
out, and it just became something that I fell in love with.
But may I say, look, I love hip hop. Your hip hop is, man, it's fun for
Oh
me
my
when I
God, I
say fun.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I like when I say fun is entertaining and
Yeah.
it keeps you hooked in
Yeah.
every single way. Like I love De La Soul, for example.
De La Soul's
and
good,
De La
yes.
Soul back in the day where they were like they were serious with their rhyme, but also
Yeah.
fun. If you know what I mean,
Yes, I get
they're
you.
not, and I miss that in our hip hop
Yes,
right
yeah.
now. Everything is either too much fun or too much serious.
Right,
And you kind of have the
right.
balance between both. Really, I say this, and this was one of the things I love about. How serious are you when it comes to obviously this music thing? Yeah,
Very. So it's strange because everything is a step-by-step process for me, and I'm in this mode right now where I'm trying to get established in the event scene as the person behind the mic. And once I
Correct.
find that I've reached sort of like my goal in that sense, and I have some more time to really focus on what I really want to do, which is put out great music,
Yeah.
I will work on. So I'm actually planning on this summer. Working on a mixtape that I'm going to release in either September or October. And this is all independent, and it's actually called Type Beat. That's the name of the album.
Type beat.
Type Beat, because when you go on YouTube
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you look for like instrumentals, you'll type in something like a Jay-Z type
Yeah,
beat
yeah, yeah.
or a
Kendrick
Nas type
or-
beat.
yeah, yeah.
And so the whole process, and I'm going to document the whole thing as well, is where I go
amazing.
on YouTube and I look for random producers who
yeah.
aren't as
Yeah.
or aren't given as much credit as they deserve. For example, I'll find a beat that I like and I'll write to it, and then I'll put out maybe 11 tracks based on those beats.
Dude, that's amazing.
I think it'd be really cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
something
that.
I'm really working on, and hopefully it catches on, and people who like independent music or that kind of stuff, and hopefully they'll listen to it.
But before we take a break, quickly, what sort of things that inspires you to like? What are you inspired to write about? Like I know that you said obviously you come from different cultures.
100%.
What's the writing kind of process like?
It's more of like I write for the person that isn't able to voice out their opinion. And
That's big.
It sounds like it can be political and serious,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then I also want to talk about the things like the taboos that we can't talk
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
and apply some fun to it, and
Yeah,
where you can listen to it and go like, I know what this guy's talking about, and that's the style that I kind of come from. It's because, well, we're not really supposed to be saying this, but then through a metaphor,
yeah.
I can voice it out, and if
Yeah.
you read between the lines, you'll know what I'm talking about.
It's like stand-up comedy in a way.
Kind of.
Like,
It's kind of like stand-up comedy through like maybe like serious tones, and then there are topics that are taboo, but then you just
But
make
man,
it make sense.
I tell you guys, like when you watch him perform, it's so fun. And again, it's for me, it's the hooking. Like, why am I? You're still watching. You still want to see how this ends. No, seriously, I say this serious. And I think it's I'm super excited for that mixtape.
Oh yeah.
Type Beat, that's what you call it?
Type Beat is what I'm going to call the
Wow.
the release or the album or
Yo,
whatever.
love that.
The mixtape.
Listen,
yeah.
we're going to take a very short break and then we'll be back to end our chat with the
Yes.
incredible Hadi Rushdy. This is LMA with Boot Up. You know this record? LMA?
Boot up.
Yeah, that one.
Boot up. Come on now.
We're going to be right back. Hadi Rushdy right here on Pulse 95 Radio. Keep it locked.
It's Yalla Home. Yalla Home.
With
Big Cast.
Pulse 95 Radio. Big house right here.
Oh, perfect background music, Big H.
We got
Ramon now.
Hadi Rushdy, an incredible entertainer, host, an MC, basketball player, a gamer. You're a gamer too, right?
A little bit. Now that I got a PS5.
Yeah, I saw that. That's amazing.
Thank you for having me. Before anything, though, there's Coach Jenna wants to say hi to you.
Oh, shout out to Coach Jenna.
Coach Jenna's like, hey, make sure you tell Big Cass I said hey. So yeah, she's
Coach
saying
Jenna
what's up.
Coach Jenna is incredible, man. She inspired me as well. You know, obviously coaching. You know the ladies and her personality, her vibe. And I know that you worked together a couple of times.
Yes, yeah. Trying to get her on the microphone as well because she's got that vibe.
Speaking of that, now you've been doing this for quite some time, and you got not used to it, but obviously you're comfortable with it. If somebody's listening to us right now and they feel like, hey, I want to become like a Hadi, like I want to experience that. I want to MC. I want to host. I want to get on the stage. I want to impact people.
Yeah.
What's the best way, and what kind of? I don't hate the word advice. What do you tell them?
Honestly, it's the most cliche thing that I tell people all the time, which is basically do it.
Yeah.
And it's I know it's easier said than done, but let's take, for example, somebody that's in school right now.
Yeah.
If you're in school and you're thinking about being on stage, you want to be a presenter or behind the microphone, find an event that's happening in school.
Facts.
Ask if you can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Say you'll do it for free. Say you want to just do it for the experience, because the whole journey is, the beginning of the journey is to actually do things for the sake of doing them so you can get the experience.
Facts.
Which can then turn you into it could be a profession in the long run.
100%.
So if you're not in school, for example, if you're working, you got a desk job, but you want to give it a try, you have to get, first off, you got to get yourself some clips as well. If there's an event that's happening,
that's one thing I didn't do.
You got to work on that portfolio, especially now in 2025. If you find an event, whether it's be it small or big, even if it's a family event, get some footage of you on a microphone. Be comfortable. Talk to people. Don't feel like it's a robotic thing that you have to follow a script. And
love that.
Be yourself and get clips of you, and then just as much experience as you get. In the beginning, you have to work for free a lot.
I kind of want to talk about this more, like the be yourself. I think this is where it's important, because if you don't establish yourself as you're not going to be different. You're not going to be the same as everybody.
True.
So in my opinion, when people book Hadi, I want a Hadi experience. No, really. I want a Hadi Rushdy experience. Meaning, like, I'm going to get, fun. I'm going to get that vibe. I'm going to get the energy.
True.
If you want that, obviously, the serious type, you get the serious type. There's a lot of people different. So it's cool.
There is a niche for everybody on the market.
I think everybody can win.
Everybody can win.
100%.
There's enough food to go around.
100%.
Everybody eats.
I agree with that.
Just be yourself about it, pretty much.
And I think when you said that hits home, because when you say, what does it mean? Be yourself. Like, just, this is who you are.
Yeah.
For me, this is who I am. This is who Hadi is.
Yes.
And on the mic, Hadi is the same as here. I swear, there's no difference.
A little extra sometimes.
I know,
but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, the dad jokes and, I call myself Uncle Hattie on social media all the time.
Yeah.
And that's because that's who I am. Like, I'll say the inappropriate things on a microphone, but then I'll watch, of course, for who's in the crowd or who's in the audience. And
That's
it's
so
just
funny.
one of those things where I want people to feel comfortable. And there are other hosts out there that are more serious that still make me feel comfortable also, because I can feel like they're leading the way.
Yeah.
They have a nice confidence around them, and that's
This is why you have to be yourself.
Exactly.
What's an event? Let's throw it out there. What's an event you look forward to hosting?
Well,
Like, what's that?
there's one that I've been doing for the past couple of years, and
Okay.
you're around that event as well sometimes, and it's when the NBA comes to Abu Dhabi, in the country. And
Big
so,
deal right there.
you know how basketball is big for the both of us also.
Yeah.
Never in my life,
Correct.
growing up, did I ever imagine I was going to, one, watch an NBA game,
Facts.
two, be close to an NBA player,
Legends.
or three, actually interview an
Interview them.
NBA player.
And
this has happened.
This has happened. You MC a lot of the NBA junior or junior NBA,
Junior NBA
events, which I
events.
love.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing to see the youngsters, like the faces when a player walk in?
It's amazing, and at the same time, I'm a little salty because
Tell me.
because I didn't have this growing up.
Oh, yeah.
I did not have this growing up.
Yeah, I
and
hear
so
you.
just to see them, and I always remind them, and I'm that person at the party that says, you don't know how lucky you are.
Facts.
Never take this for granted.
Yeah.
Soak in as much information as you can. That's what I always tell the kids, but in a fun way, of course, so that they don't roll their eyes at me, which is what I used to do to my elders when they gave me advice.
Oh,
But
God.
that's the coolest thing. Is like, you guys get
Yeah.
to be in the presence of someone like Jalen Brunson or
Kevin
Paul
Garnett.
Pierce, Kevin Garnett,
Derek Fisher.
and Derek. You can hear all like their stories, and And people don't know that it's all in the details. Everything that they talk about, whether it's the smallest thing, it matters because they've played on the biggest stage when it comes to the sport.
Handling pressure.
Or like dealing with fans or how they go about their practice and their routines. And I think, I'm not sure who talked about this. It was an athlete that said, these superstars, you think they have like these amazing lives. They don't. It's so routine.
Correct.
They wake up, they work out, they go to sleep early, they eat a particular way, and then they go and they play.
Bro,
and
you
that's
said
their
it.
life.
Recently, I've been following this Mind the Game podcast that LeBron James launched.
Yes,
he launched it first of all with JJ Redick, and then JJ became a coach of the Lakers, and now he's with Steve Nash.
Yeah,
and they're kind of when I say like nerdy about basketball, they talk about. I love that. And LeBron James said the same thing. He's like, man, I have to get my 8-9 hours sleeping. Yeah. Practice every single day.
Pretty much.
And that's why he's been playing for 22 plus years.
It's like you hear these things and it takes away this kind of notion that because you put all these superstars on the pedestal and they're great but it's the amount of work and routine that goes into what they do. Yeah. It's crazy. And so hearing about it firsthand from these players when they come to the country and they visit, this is so important for the youth to hear. Super important.
I love that. Listen, we're nearly towards the end, but this has been a beautiful chat.
I loved it. Every second of this.
No, seriously, you are truly incredible. And like I said, one of the most hardworking people that we have. And I want to tell you this. I'm sure I told you this before, but I want to say this again. You're one of the most consistent. And I think, in my opinion, consistency doesn't get celebrated a lot. You mentioned followers and numbers and hype, and for example, you emceed a big event once a year or whatever it is, but the consistency should matter. And on this platform, I just want to say to everybody, celebrate consistency. Celebrate artists who put up an album every single year or so. Celebrate people like Hadi who are always working, no matter what, always working. If there's no work, he's dropping content. That's consistency. And I think people really take a blind eye on consistency.
If I could just introduce you to my ex-girlfriend so you can say that all over again, but apparently lost her contact. Sorry. But yeah, celebrate consistency. That's great. I agree with that 100%.
Listen, I want to put you on the spot real quickly towards the end. We have a segment here called the Unpopular Opinion segment that I truly love.
Oh? I've got a lot of those.
Oh, that's amazing. So I'm still waiting for a jingle from my producer. Like, I want something like, okay, it's unpopular. Anyway, what is an unpopular opinion that Hadi Rushdy can say to us? Let me put you in context. We've had some crazy ones on the show. One of the craziest is this. I remember too.
Let me hear it.
Ban babies on the plane.
I'm for that. No, actually, babies should go through a screening, I think. There has to be a screening process.
So that's one. Number two, what was it? The I need coffee in the morning people are insufferable.
No, we're not. You just have more sleep than us and you're showing off. That's pretty much it.
So, what is an unpopular opinion of Hadi Rushdy?
Top of the dome, unpopular opinion. Give us more than 2 packets of ketchup when we ask for ketchup at the restaurant. I know you got a box down there.
That's true, actually.
I know there's like you could swoop in with your hand and give me 5 pieces of ketchup and you're not gonna lose business. No. Give me the ketchup, please. Yeah, I don't want to stand up and come back again and say, hi, can I get 2 more? I'm going to look like a ketchup freak. People are going to look at me like, why is this guy keep asking for ketchup? Just give me more ketchup, please. Yeah. That's it.
I like that.
That's it.
Any other one?
Unpopular opinion. Milk does not help you grow taller.
Yo, who?
No. They keep telling you you got to drink milk.
And carrot makes you see better.
I don't think so. I mean, I know a lot of, and carrot makes you see better, apparently. No, how about this? How about unpopular opinion? Okay. Please take your shoes off before you enter the house.
Oh, that's good. Actually, I don't know why this is unpopular. My wife is a big fan of that. But yeah, I understand why.
I think it's because I'm also part Asian, so it's huge. If you walk in with your shoes, there's a bamboo stick or a cooking stick coming your way. I'm not going to talk further about. I'm not going to talk more about that because there's trauma involved.
Oh, bless.
No, but listen. Take off your take off. You walked outside on the street. You walked on pavements.
Facts.
Take off your shoes, please.
Man, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are with Hadi Rushdy. One last question. I can't seem to end this conversation.
No, go for it.
Listen, how important is support that you get from family and friends? Like with everything that you've been through, I'm sure you go through a lot as well. And maybe you as a public personality, maybe sometimes you don't share everything. Mm-hmm. But how important is a good support system, whether it's family or friends?
So my answer might be a little biased in terms of I want to say like I did a lot of this by myself.
Well, bless.
And of course, you know, I've gotten help and support from people who are close to me. I think it's very important that you get the support from the people closest to you, but I also think it's more important for you to go even if you don't get that support. And if you could turn that into a positive in terms of, well, if they're not going to support me, I'm going to believe in myself a lot more and then go all the way. The feeling you'll have when you make it is much better. But here's the thing. When you do make it, don't rub it in their faces. Don't do that. Just be exactly how you were before you started and right there when you get there. So like that way, when everybody eats at a table, you're not forcing them to say thank you. You're not saying I told you so. You're just enjoying their company. And that's pretty much all I can say about that.
And that's why I'm playing the Gladiator movie in the background. Because it's serious.
Unpopular opinion?
It got me emotional.
Unpopular opinion.
Gladiator.
Gladiator 2, not as good as Gladiator 1.
No, terrible. I agree with that.
Horrible.
Terrible, bro.
I'm not watching that again. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, you guys. You see, this is the kind of energy that I love about Hadi Rushdy. Go follow him. Where can people follow you real quick?
Well, you guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm on there pretty much every single day. It's just Hadi Rushdy, my name, HADI-RUSHDY. It's the same thing for all other platforms, social media platforms. Or you can visit my website, hadirushdy.com.
Yo, I just realized you have a website.
Yeah. I put that up like a year and a
amazing.
half ago. I'm about to update that like in a few months. And
It looks
put
cool
out a new
too,
video.
man.
Yeah,
Respect.
it's pretty cool. What else? Spotify, just write my name, I guess, but I don't have too many tracks up there. Everything is basically on Instagram and TikTok, so it's just my name.
Amazing.
And hopefully
well, you know, like,
enjoy.
hopefully we'll try to get him again, but we focused on, obviously, public speaking, hosting,
Yes.
a little bit of music, a little bit of basketball. You can see that the man really can do a lot of things. He's passionate about a lot of things, but if you want to benefit, or if you want to get one thing out of Hadi Rushdy is the passion, and just kind of do it for fun. Maybe don't take yourself too seriously sometimes. And I think that's really cool. Hadi Rushdy, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words you'd like to say?
Big Hassan,
Hello,
thank you
hello.
so much, man. I
Come on,
appreciate you. I support you. I want you to go far. I want you to keep being
Bless
the
you,
voice
my
for
man.
the underground.
Bless you.
Do not stop, please. And also, for people that don't know, you talk about this a lot. You are a father of a child
Correct.
who has
Autism. Correct.
And he's a big person when it comes to that. And just listen to what he has to say.
Bless you,
He
man.
always has some gems for you to
Bless.
pick up on.
See, that's the cool thing. We got to end. We got sports headlines coming up.
There
But
you
Hadi
go.
Rushdy, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be continuing the conversation, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, with you guys until 8. But Hadi is about to leave, so thank you so much, Hadi.
Thank you all so much. Pulse 95, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all so much.
Love you, my brother. Sports headlines.
Unbelievable!